Hey Pisces, welcome to Tourmaline Tarot. We're going to do your month of July, and I'm running a little behind because of the holiday and etc. But so much family time. So we're going to do your reading for July. Let's see, what does Pisces need to know for July? One more satisfying one and we're good. Oh, there she is. So Pisces, we're only doing uprights here. So my deck is all turned around. Okay. And we'll talk about it in a second. So at the center we have Ten of Swords, right? So you're like, oh my gosh, it's like so, it's a bad card, right? No, I don't think there's bad cards. There's only the stuff that we bring to them. So with the Ten of Swords, there is an element of, you know, you're done with something. Like, thank goodness it's the 10 and not like a 3 or a 2, you know, it's the 10. We're rounding something out. We are coming around the bend on something and, you know, we're wrapping it up. So if you were feeling a certain way, kiss it goodbye. And that's a nice place to be because it's like on to the next. So we have the Fool, Temperance, Judgment, and Eight of Pentacles. And like I said, you're moving into a new phase. Like this Ten of Swords, I think, is not really, it's could have sucked, but it's also not defining you because you have the Fool, Temperance, Judgment, and Eight of Pentacles. There's something new that you're stepping into with more purpose and awareness that might not have been able to be expressed because with the Eight of Pentacles, there's a deliberateness, like you're picking one thing and taking care of it and then moving on to the next thing. Instead of seeing this big overwhelming picture, it is the one thing at a time. You know, one thing that I'm handling and then we're moving on. Next thing, moving on. Like it's like you're just ticking off that to-do list, whether that's a physical to-do list, a spiritual, mental one, whatever it is. But you're seeing a clearer path on how you're going to execute this stuff. Because all this Ten of Swords, you know, all these sharpy pokey things are pointing at you and it's like, what the hell? But reading in the Rose, we have the Fool, Queen of Swords, and Judgment. With the Fool, it's the beginning, right? And there is kind of like a woohoo, like let's do this. But in the Queen of Swords though, and the Judgment on top of that, it's you're making decisions to not deal with something, or you're being very logical about where you're going with stuff. So you're tempering that Fool energy with, like I said, a deliberateness. There's not like this woohoo, like we're going. You know, you're taking that we're going energy, but using it. And, you know, I like to say Judgment is kind of more of the, almost like a divine justice, where it's the universe kind of catching you and being like, yeah, okay, Pisces, we got this. Let's keep it going. Almost like a protective energy too. And looking here though, I do feel like there is kind of like a little bit of like a spiritual bubble wrap that you have on you that you might not even know exists. Think of all those situations where you're like, wow, that could have been bad. Wow, that would have, yeah, like, you know, all that little stuff, and you're like, wow, that could have gone different, but it didn't. Like, things are kind of falling in your favor a little bit. Now, the Seven of Swords, people are like, oh my god, it's deception, and blah, 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 blah. I feel like this is more, people are trying to get away with stuff. And maybe this Ten of Swords is the culmination of people kind of pushing the envelope. You might, you know, especially with this Eight of Wands down here, for reading this way, you might get news that somebody was way more of an asshat than you thought, or somebody could have been pulling stunts that you didn't really know about, or someone actually kind of, you know, shows that they are a whole ass by saying stuff or communicating, and you're like, wow, okay, well, that does it. That does it. You have officially shown me who you are. And you're like, we need to do other stuff then. So with the Temperance, the Lovers, and Eight of Pentacles, if this isn't a relationship, there could be something that, you know, like I said, you're bringing balance. Since the 10 of Swords is an end. You're at the end of this. So this, and with the Fool, especially starting a new phase, Temperance, Lovers, Eight of Pentacles. Like I said, you're being more deliberate in your decisions. The Lovers, if it doesn't pertain to a relationship, it is making decisions about stuff you care about, because it is a decision card as well. So also with the Temperance, there's that Balance card. There's like duality through all of this. It's like one or the other, this or that, especially with these two. So you are hitting your stride in that element. And like I said, Eight of Pentacles, and there's not a ton of cups here. Actually, I don't think there's no cups here. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about relationships. But this Eight of Pentacles, it might be the practical stuff that you're nailing down on the day-to-day that is going to kind of take whatever this run of, like, wow, you're really showing who you are, kind of, get you out of that. Because I don't think you stay in this very long. Like, it's very quick. Also, Eight of Wands, you could actually be removing yourself from the situation. It doesn't have to be, you're hopping in the car and going 1,000 miles away. It could be like you're like, okay, well, I'm making a change. Like, you're no longer in my friend circle. I'm not going to answer your calls. Like, we're not going to be friends on the Facebooks, or, I'm not following you on the Insta, whatever you do on the TikToks. I'm not familiar. But we have the Fool, Seven of Swords, and Temperance if we're reading it this way. You might have started something, and with the Seven of Swords, there might have been stuff that people's intentions weren't on the up and up, and you weren't 100% sure of that. Or with the Fool, you were just so excited to begin that your boundaries might not have been up, and people kind of pushed it. But like I said, I don't feel like it lasts long, because the Temperance energy is like, boom, no, we're balanced. Like I said, there's a bubble wrap around you that I don't think is there. A blessing bubble wrap. That you're kind of being watched over a little bit. I know that sounds, but in a good way. Like I hate to say guardian angel way, but you know what I mean. Where you're just like, oh, okay. Like little surprises where you're like, wow, that popped up at the right time. And then you have Queen of Swords, Ten of Swords, Lovers. If you had to make a decision that this is not acceptable anymore, you're actually going to decide on things that you want. What is more fulfilling? What is stuff that you want? But there is, like I said, a decisiveness, a deliberateness to this, and it's not fraught with emotion. In some ways, maybe you knew whatever this situation was or this person was. Like, you already had a whiff of what they were or how they acted, or you might have heard stories about them in the past that you're like, okay, that makes sense. Like, I get it. I knew. I expected it in some way. Judgment, Eight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. You could be also hearing about stuff that is going your way. And now it's like your time to shine. Because eights for me are kind of like where the universe starts getting involved. And it's like, hey, Pisces, I see you. So, you have two eights next to each other with Judgment back here. So, you might start getting news that things are kind of going in your favor. Opportunities are aligning. And you have to pick one and work on it. But you could feel, because this Eight of Wands can, not say it's an overwhelming energy, but it's a faster energy. And then if you've been kind of, not slow, but kind of like plodding along, this Eight of Wands comes along and just like knocks you off your feet like a big wave in the ocean. When you're standing there and you just get whacked and like your feet go out from underneath you. I don't feel like it really kind of spins you in any way, because the Eight of Pentacles is right there where, like I said, that deliberateness of, I choose this, I choose you, Pikachu. And you keep going from there. So I really, whatever this, it's almost like a hiccup even. And like I said, you might have known that this was a thing. So you're not even really like too ticked off or upset, because it's like you move into these opportunities, like you slide right in. And you're just like, boom, done. Next. So with this Ten of Swords, Six of Cups. If this is somebody from the past that is kind of circling around, like I said, I just feel like you already know what this person's up to, what to expect out of them, and you're like disappointed but not surprised. Hanged Man. You are. Like, you already know this stuff. Nine of Swords. So I feel like that's where it's coming from. Disappointed but not surprised. Eight of Wands though. King of Wands. You're taking those wands and you're taking control of it. It's like this, like I said, it feels very temporary. Like, you could have a couple bad nights of sleep, or, you know, do whatever makes you feel comfortable, you know, like you just need some comfort, but you're right back out in it, like, almost immediately. Five of Cups, though, with the King of Wands, if you are coming out of somebody who, you know, you might have a little bit of like, oh, that kind of sucked, but at the same time, you're in that energy where it's like you get over it pretty quick. Three of Pentacles, you're like right back at it. So yeah, I mean, you might feel a certain way, but I feel like it moves so quickly through that, because then the Queen of Pentacles, it's like you can't be bothered with whatever that is. Ten of Wands. Be careful you're not trading being stuck in your head through being a workhorse. But the Ten of Wands, you're also, I want to say maybe you're approaching the work differently, because to have the Queen of Pentacles, she's the one that has it all together, right? Like, she's kind of like the go-to, you know? It doesn't have to be a woman, but just the qualities of. You know, Ten of Wands, though, 10 is also about being done. Two of Cups, there you go. Yeah, I don't think you're trading whatever hiccup emotionally this is for work. And the road to mastering each one of these things could feel like a lot. But the payoff, every time you do it, is worth it. So I don't think it's like as backbreaking and terrible and blah, blah, blah. No, because you're moving. You're getting on it. And if anything, you could ask for help. And actually, this Five of Cups could sometimes be like a, what did I get myself into? Like, what did I do? But Three of Pentacles, you can ask for help. You do feel like I said, there is some kind of bubble wrap that you got going on. So Knight of Swords on the Lovers. When the opportunities start coming, when the news starts coming up that, you know, you're ready to go, you know, something is ready to change, you're in. Like, you're all in. If we are going to say it's about relationships, something does kind of come in that maybe is faster than you anticipate, and you're like, I did not see that one coming, and it seems like some work, and this person could be a little rough around the edges, but with a little work and a little tailoring, they're a diamond in the rough. I mean, just make sure a diamond in the rough is not actually like an asshole in the rough. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. You know, just make sure you're not polishing a turd. That's an awful saying, but, you know, sometimes people are just who they are, and there is no polishing, right? So be discerning in that. We have the Knight of Swords with the Six of Pentacles. If it's impetuous, though, like, the Pentacles keep coming in and qualifying this stuff. So anything that feels like fast and a hiccup, the Pentacles come in and kind of smooth it off. So the things that move quick, you're rising to the challenge. You're in. You're on it. Might feel like a lot of work, but it pays off. And it's like very results oriented right now. And I know I keep going on about that, but it is very results driven. Now, the Page of Cups on the Queen of Swords, you could be very much in your head, and now when it comes to expressing it and bringing it out, you're not quite sure what to do or say, or when people come at you emotionally, it's like, why are you doing that? You know, because then you have the King of Pentacles on top of it. I think you muscle through that, but like I said, somebody, if they have, to go back around to the relationship side of it, if there's potential, I feel like it's in there. And it doesn't have to be, you know, the gender of a king or, you know, queen, whatever. But someone has potential. But just like I said, make sure it's legit potential and not just like you're, dealing with somebody who could be not on the up and up or not have the best intentions. So with Judgment, we have Page of Pentacles. There are little, like I said, there's things coming at you that are like, here, try this out. Here's an email or a text or something that's like, hey, I got this for you. Stuff is kind of popping up and aligning. What is about that? The World. You're being asked to step into something new. And all these things kind of add up and taking you into new directions. So if you're worried about getting a new direction, it's happening regardless. It's more about you figuring out internally, like, what you want. What interests you? What are you dealing with? What are you not dealing with? What are you accepting? Etc. So, I feel like that's kind of pretty all-encompassing. But like I said, you just have this air of protection around you. So I don't know if you do anything like baths or carry stones or smoke clear or do anything along those lines. But it's working, I think. And this hiccup of, you might have already known this person didn't have it all together. But there might be a new person that actually does have potential. It's just a matter of, like, them bringing it out. But also, like, I always like to qualify it with, don't just sit around and wait for someone to, get it together. Like, get your own stuff together. So, and then if they want to get things together, then do it together. So we have the Lightning. So there is kind of a surprise element to it. The Messenger, or the Rider, I should say. But that's kind of like a messenger card. So expect somebody to, pop up. With the Snake can be a sexy card. So there could be somebody who has amorous intentions to you, Pisces. But also, there's a little bit of jealousy, envy, coveting. I know that sounds like a heavy word, but somebody kind of sees what you have and kind of wants what you have. It doesn't have to be like this giant dramatic thing, but it does kind of feed into this whole Nine of Swords thing. If someone does pop back up, because the Six of Cups was there, what is that about? There's a fire, like there's a lot of passion behind it, but at the same time, can they go the distance with the tree? Also, I'm not a doctor, but there could be a little bit of a health thing. So just like, with the fire and the snake and the tree, I want to say, like, watch what you're eating. Like, if you're upset in your tummy, if you're, eating stuff that, like, flares you up, or, you know what I mean? Like, just kind of keep an eye on that stuff. And now I'm not, like I said, not a doctor, but keep your peepers open on that. So with the Rider, what are we getting here? The Ring. Somebody wants to go the distance, but are they out of snake mode? Let's see with this tree. They want it, but are they capable at the moment? Something about them is not aligned. And whatever that may be. They might need to get work stuff in order. They have their own baggage they're working on. I mean, everyone has their own baggage. But yeah, somebody does want you, and they want it, cycles to begin and go and everything. But at the same time, are they capable? And the cards are literally just sliding out. Excusez-moi. So, what about this Lightning? Can we get any indication on what the Lightning's about? There's just too much, but it is the Heart and the Fox. I feel like it's not going to be a surprise to them. It's going to be a surprise to you. Because I feel like they've kind of been keeping an eye. Not in a creepy way, but just like being like, is now the moment? How about now? How about now? But there is some kind of surprise change. But Storks, are a good kind of change because they migrate to what they need. They go to where what's going to make them happy. So either you're going to find out that this does make you happier than what you thought because somebody did get their act together, or it could also be that it's something that you didn't even really realize you wanted, kind of falls in your lap. But also watch your Tim Tam. Don't eat the spicy if the spicy bugs you. I should listen to my own advice. I'm like, I'll just take a Tums. It's delicious. So let's do the crystal deck and see what can we tell Pisces. All right, if it's less than 3, we're on it. Yes, so we have Zeolite and Citrine. Zeolite is guidance, consciousness, and direction. So, a need to open oneself to communicating with one's guides. Are you listening? Have I not been saying, like, you have this little spiritual bubble wrap on you? Like, the universe has put up, like, Pisces protection. You know, when, like, you toddler-proof a house? It's kind of done that for you, where you're, like, you're not bumping into corners and things. Let's see, then we have Citrine, which is energizing, individuation, prosperity, and abundance. So look at your motives and honor yourself. If we are selfless, we draw down the abundance of the universe. So yeah, I think everything's kind of coming into alignment. Oh, and I'm a liar because Smoky Quartz was out over here too. This is a good one. All right, grounding, clarify, and calming. Time to let go of past hurts and problems. Open yourself to transformation. All right? Yeah, so that makes kind of a pretty complete message there. All right, Pisces, that's what I have for you for July, and I'll talk to you later.